We're really quite excited about this in terms of it's a follow-on from our previous strategies, which has been untying the knot, uniting the knot, and now we lead on to supporting Staffordshire football to enhance our communities. We think it's really important that those relationships are built within the community, and this is a real key focus on that. Some of the other focuses in the new strategy are around leadership and accountability. We've listened to Staffordshire Football in terms of what we've put together for this strategy, and it's key that those key messages that are coming through are around behaviours. That's a real issue within the game at the moment. We do have to remember that it's only 5% really where we do experience poor behaviours in the game, but this is something we need to get on top of in terms of getting more people to play the game. Whatever your background is, well, we need to make sure that that game is safe, and that is a real key theme for our new strategy. Working in the communities as well, we think over the last couple of strategies, we think we've made some real headway in terms of our relationships out there. For many years there's been a perception of county FAs whereby we're here just to govern the game, and people refer to what we do in terms of discipline, but we're much bigger than that now. The last two strategies, so first strategy that we introduced in 2017 was untying the knot, which was basically focusing on breaking down any barriers and trying to change the perception of a county FA in terms of getting more people involved, building relationships, being more relevant out there. And we followed on that with Uniting the Knot, which was a real effort around bringing the game together. So we were working with those relationships. We were working with building partnerships out there, but most importantly, it was bringing Staffordshire football together. As I always say, Staffordshire Football Association is just part of Staffordshire Football. Staffordshire Football is a much bigger picture. We're a small cog in that. So when you look at the amount of volunteers that we've got out there every single weekend, we're just short of 10,000 volunteers out there on a weekend. Whether we're looking at our leagues who actually provide the participation opportunities out there, referees, match officials, coaches, etc., etc. These are people that are all form part of Staffordshire Football, and we're just a small part of that. We like to think that we're, if I'm looking at it as a formation, we're the goalkeeper in that formation, that we work together, but ultimately we're there to provide the support that the game needs to grow.
Obviously, the new 24-28 strategy aligns with the national strategy, but there's more to it than that, isn't there, amongst the community and the county itself?
Yeah, it's really important for us to align to the national strategy as we work really closely in partnership with the Football Association. And I think some of the key themes that have come out from that, they're going to be replicated in Staffordshire. However, we genuinely believe in localism, and we feel that for our own identity in Staffordshire, which is, there's a lot of football history in Staffordshire. It has a lot of history in terms of, if we look at the programme right the way through, there's a real history of football here and passion around it. We feel we need something bespoke for Staffordshire. So what we've done is we've taken into account the feedback that we've received. So we've been talking to our key stakeholders and our members and anybody that participates in the game or is involved in the game for the last year. And we've really carefully pulled everything together, which we've listened to what we can provide for the game in Staffordshire. So whilst there'll be reoccurring themes from the Football Association, there'll be local issues that we need to look at, or and I just think everything that we do when we've localized our previous strategies, untying the knot and uniting the knot, I think it all leads on, and that identity that we've got in Staffordshire I think isn't replicated everywhere. I think it's a real localized thing for us, where we in Staffordshire Football we do work close together. There are a lot of ties to our history as well, and I do think we get forgotten a little bit at times in Staffordshire, even though we have St George's Park in the county. I do think that nationally, I'm not sure everybody knows where Staffordshire is for some reason. It seems to be that we're a bit of an enigma in that respect. But we really want to get us on the football map, and it's something that I know the team are really proud of here. We have the knot running through everything that we do, and we really want that identity to be recognised nationally.
Definitely, and obviously the other question I should say is, you mentioned before the two previous strategies, they align together to obviously see us into this one. So moving forward, yes, I know we're only just setting out the standards for the new 4-year strategy, but hopefully by the end of that you'll want to have achieved something more. And where do you hope that this strategy can take Staffordshire football?
I want us to be, first and foremost, I want as many people playing and feeling safe to play the game as possible in Staffordshire. That's what we're about. We're about getting more and more people participating in this wonderful sport of ours. We're all the same. We get into this game because we love it and the passion's there. But we want to make sure that anybody, regardless of their background or anything along those lines, it feels welcome and safe to play the game of football. That's got to be our ambition. We need to look at our facilities in Staffordshire. One of the things that's been fed back into us nationally and locally within Staffordshire is the lack of quality playing surfaces out there. We recognise that, and that's something we're going to have a challenge with the next few years, particularly with the changing environment. We've noticed over the last few years the changes to weather, how wet it's been. What we can't have is people who aren't able to play the game for 4 weeks because of waterlogged pitches or whatever. We have to do everything within our power to make sure that there's more 3G pitches out there, that there's better quality pitches out there, and that's something we'll hold ourselves accountable for and put ourselves under pressure to achieve. But most of all, I think, if we look selfishly, and referring to my previous question, I think I want Staffordshire to be a leader. I want us to be a leading county out there. I want us to have our own identity. And, at the moment, we've got some 30,000 players playing the game every weekend, 8,000 volunteers or just over, 1,000 referees. We're always looking to up those numbers. And whilst we've got a success story around referees and match officials. Last year, it's the first time we've reached 1,000 match officials. I think we can go higher than that. And I think, we do need to go slightly higher than that to make sure that every game is covered. Every game is covered with a qualified referee. Again, key on our agenda is safeguarding. Safeguarding is massive to us, and we've really embedded it into everything that we do here at Staffordshire FA, but likewise throughout the game. And I think, we are a national leader in terms of what we do there, but, that's such an important part of the game now. And moving forward, that will remain in place.
Staffordshire FA has also achieved its code of governance and implemented a board of directors and things to take the county FA forward. Sort of explain more about that and tell us where it needs to go for the future.
Yeah, the code of governance was an absolute key priority for us in the last strategy. We achieved that the back end of last season, which we were absolutely delighted with. But it's far more than just a kite mark for us. Whilst it shows that you're an equitable organisation, you've got good governance in place, this has been a longer story for us. So this goes back, over 2 strategies for us now. We wanted to embed real governance. We made some real changes to our organisation in terms of reforming council, reforming our whole governance structure, which has now put us in a real good place in terms of our council and where our council sits aside our board of directors. Our board of directors now has its full complement. It's 9 members and it has 7 independents. So we still have 2 representatives from council who represent the game of football, which is absolutely important to us. But we have 7 independents who are recruited on their skill set. So we've got various skill sets now in terms of commercial, legal, safeguarding, inclusion, all the aspects that you would want for a business that's going to be going forward and being forward thinking for the future as ours is. We've had a recent change of chair of the organisation or of the board of directors. So Matt Hancock, who is from Port Vale, he heads up our board, which has really given us a new impetus in terms of our direction going forward. And I'm really confident how that board can support us to deliver. So that board is in place to drive us on as staff members, as a paid workforce. and it works alongside our voluntary sector, which is our council. Our council is nearly 50 people strong now, people who give up their time to support the game in general, and we've got a real representation of the game now, whereas before it was a case of you were associated with a league or a referees association. We now cover all aspects of the game, so we've got players on there, we've got coaches on there, representative community clubs, community members, referees. We've got the whole game covered in terms of our council help us to deliver. What we are doing and what we have listened to as well is the resource that we're putting into our workforce. So the board are really keen to reinvest back into the game. So any monies that come into the association, because of us being not-for-profit, are reinvested back into the game, and that's going back in to support the volunteers to deliver. So effectively, what we want to do and what we see going forward is to increase our workforce here so that we can provide more support to the grassroots game in general. You know, we want to get more people out there face to face, working with clubs, working with referees, just basically building the game and you know, working on participation. But also there's that key element of it for us where, you know, we're making the game safe. So, you know, we do deal with discipline, and in the past there's people who like to shy away from that. But I see discipline as a safety valve for the game. It is really, really important that is implemented consistently, and we do have a discipline process. So yeah, we have a. I think, you know, we went down to 11 members of staff after COVID, after cuts, and we've built ourselves back up to 18 members of staff now. And whilst they're not all full time, I think it's putting us in a position now to support the game much better than what we could back in those times.